Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Sammy, or you can call me by my in-game name, Julieta. So this episode is a special one because I've gotten a couple of requests to go and try out some nullsec PvP. And I did, and it was not what I was expecting. Alright, Pravi, let's see what you got. Right, so safe to say you can see my efforts from the past 2 days of trying nullsec PvP, mostly myself getting blown up and blobbed by people. Right, so in essence it's not much different than lowsec, but at least on lowsec, if you run around the region for quite a while, you get to know your neighbors more or less, and you get to know who you can fight and who you cannot. Granted, I went to Provi, and Provi may not be the best place for solo PvP, uh, at least in my short experience. And I did try to go about it using a brawling style and not a kiter, and I definitely encountered a lot of cutting ships that were fighting me, if they were solo-ish, like webbing Lokis and stuff like that. And I don't know, it wasn't all in all, it wasn't a pleasant experience to say the least. But I'm not a good PvPer, as you can see. I'm just average. I'm just trying to do my best. I've been playing this game for quite a while, but you know, I'm still average. Some people don't really peak, but that's beside the point. I don't know. I don't want to tell people not to go to nullsec and try to solo PvP. I know it's possible. I've seen a lot of videos of people doing it. But apparently it's just not my style. However, I did went back to Faction Warfare Space and did get some interesting fights that I'll show you guys. And like I said, this video is a bit special, as in it's also gonna be my weekly highlights PvP video, and this one will be with commentary. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Right, so first of the day is my new Trasher versus a Raptor and a Tyrannus. So first and foremost, I tried to go for the Raptor first, but somehow he managed to slip away. When I figured I couldn't actually keep him down, I've decided to go for the Tyrannus instead, knowing that my triple newts will effectively turn him into a useless ship. And they kept alternating between scram and point, so I could just activate my micro drive easily and stay in range for the news to work. Unfortunately, by this instance, I felt that I couldn't actually kill the both of them, even though the Raptor was orbiting me real close. But they applied just too much damage, and by the time I managed to kill the Tyrannus, the Raptor
has run out of charges.
Went out of range. But of course, at this time, the cavalry arrived, the blob team decided to show up, and safe to say you know what happens next. Alright, so nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. Pretty much like nullsec, right? Next fight is my shield extra large ancillary thorax versus an omen. Now, I was a bit scared to go up against this omen because I knew omens are either kitey or scram kite, but I figured what the hell, let's go for it. So I loaded up null just to be sure I can hit him if he keeps range, and decided to go for it. So far so good. I was doing decent damage, forgot to actually consume my drugs there to boost a bit more. Turns out he was a buffer tank. I was expecting active tank, but I was still doing okay damage. It was just a matter of time. It was doing massive amounts of damage to me because even with an adaptive invul, my resists were not that good in EM front to start with because the thorax is not exactly a shield bolt. But I was still confident. I was still confident I could pull it off. I still had a couple of charges left on my shield. And he was about half armor. I actually overboosted there. Luckily not twice. But sadly at this point again, much like low sec, as you can see in low sec, the cavalry arrived and yeah, he got help. But not much else to say because apparently I would have died eventually either way because he was quite well tagged and shooting with null I wasn't doing all my my major damage anyway. But I decided to go for some payback and I went back in another thorax. And safe to say they came back with 2 daisies in the frig. Now the dragoon was a danger here for me because of the nude, so luckily, as fate would have it, he came in duplex first, so I immediately put all my damage onto him to be sure I get him down. And as you can see, I'm doing damage quite well. I'm tanking good-ish. I was confident. With the dragoon down, I'm even more confident so that I would come out on top. Now, at this point, I focused the algos because I knew the daredevil would just run away because of his nasty webs if he saw any DPS application coming to him. So I decided to focus on the algos and get away as much as the DPS on the field as I could. Witnessing what happened here,
the capacitor
even though I got a scram on the daredevil, as you know, his webs are just too good, and he decided, fuck it, I'm not gonna take on the thorax by myself. So he bounced away, which led to me having a nice fight and getting 2 kills and surviving. That's the most crucial part. After that, I decided to take out my Cinderball for a spin, and I noticed a Moa on the outside of a plex, and just as I landed, a curse came out, neutral curse. I was a bit hesitant to take the fight. I decided to take a pot shot on the Moa just to get on the kill. So I went in and immediately warped off. And I started to do some checks to see if the curse pilot had any friends in local. So I noticed he didn't have any friends, well, not from the same corp at least, so I figured, what the hell, let me go back there. And the idea that maybe if the curse and the Moa start engaging each other, I could maybe pair up with the Moa and take care of the curse. There was a good chance of that happening, even though the curse might completely newt out the Moa and be useless, but at least he would focus on the Moa for a while and I get some damage on the curse before I started to have to rep myself. And indeed they were fighting, and I landed just in good range, started to apply my DPS. But because my Cinderball was actually dual extra large and ancillary shield boosted, I wasn't doing nearly enough damage. Surprisingly though, the curse decided to run away because he thought maybe that was just too much. And the Moa didn't, so that just leaves him to die by my guns and give me a free kill apparently. All good, I'll take it. I'm not one to complain. Pretty easy enough, didn't even have to boost once because he was already neuted out. Right, so didn't manage to get the pod, but it's all good. So that's it pretty much for the good fights portion of this highlight. I hope you guys enjoyed, and feel free to leave a comment with some feedback or maybe a like, even a subscribe, and hope you guys are doing good. Catch you later.